I'm only allowed to say one thing to this lady in the pink. Take one of your hands, put on your stomach. There are actually 3 places in your body that this thing is grown in, and it is cancer. But God's going to take them all out by the root. Everybody, you need faith right now, young lady. I want you to look at me because you need to be convinced that what I'm saying, I can't possibly know. And you are being healed. You have no idea how many times I've watched women like this go to their doctor and the x-rays show there's nothing there.
This is Lance Wellnow. He is a televangelist and extremely influential in the movement, Christian nationalist, you know, that type. I want to make an argument for you today. I want to convince you that Donald Trump is connected to neo-Nazis and the entire Christian nationalist movement is all neo-Nazis, just about all of them. Let me just introduce you to Wellnow. This is him claiming that Donald Trump is going to win the 2024 election because God told him he would. This is a prophecy from Lance Wellnow.
And I don't know how this ended up. You know, I am Pentecostal, charismatic, but somehow I don't know if I was slain in the spirit. I think I was on my knees praying at a great gathering at a church, which was Harold Caballeros' church, a great statesman down there.
Okay, shout out for Harold, whatever.
And I had my eyes closed. And a man came up to me out of nowhere and whispered in my ear. He said, "Brother Lance, I believe the Lord has a word for you. God wants you to know Donald Trump will be elected for one more term.
You catching this?
And after that, there shall be this great distress of nations. The Antichrist and those forces will not be able to emerge before their time. And there's one more term of mercy for America." Whispered it in my ear. By the time I turned around, I didn't even know who it was.
So he can easily say, if it happens, he could say, this is a prophecy from me. God was speaking into my ear. And if he's wrong and Trump does lose, he can just say, well, I guess that guy was wrong. This is a method of sidestepping accountability. That is par for the course with these people. So let me draw the connection, all right? Oh, yeah. Also, check out my book, owenmorgan.com. It's about Jehovah's Witnesses, their origin. And I'm talking about Germany and religion in Nazi Germany, how that all played out, how Hitler grabbed it. I'm writing that book right now, so give that a look. Also, my Patreon, owenmorgan.com for the book, or Amazon. And owenmorgan.com/Patreon for access to that. All links in the description, of course. This is Todd Coconato. He's another colleague of Lance Wellnow's, and Mario Murillo on the right here. These 3 guys are televangelists that work together a lot. Wellnow has sat with Donald Trump in like briefing rooms and stuff and prayed with him on, I think, 4 separate occasions. That's how influential he is. Listen to what Todd and Wellnow have to say here, and Mario.
We have another clip I want to play real quick, and then you can comment on this as well, where President Trump is actually talking about some of what we just talked about. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
Why are we allowing these midi?
Okay, now let's just pause here for a second. This clip has Nick Fuentes in the right-hand corner. The clip that these people chose has a neo-Nazi in the bottom right corner. Somebody at their studio pulled this clip from a neo-Nazi website. It's not even like a YouTube channel. He doesn't have YouTube. He's banned. He's banned from everything. It is a website that he and some other neo-Nazis operate on. What were they doing on that? I don't even need to listen to the rest of it. I just know that they watch Nick Fuentes. That's what matters now. I'm comfortable saying that the 3 people on screen right here are neo-Nazis, or at the very least, connected very closely to neo-Nazis. This is Lance Wellnow's show. Why is he watching, like, neo-Nazis in his spare time? You know, you can get the debate from somebody else or from just the original source. Why that? So I'm going to call it. These 3 guys are neo-Nazis. I'm comfortable with that. Now, let's talk about Nick Fuentes for a second. If you don't know him, let me introduce him.
9 in 10 blacks vote for Democrats. Why do they do that? God only knows. Why do they play the knockout game? Why do they punch white people in the street for no reason?
Is that happening?
Why do they rob 5 7-Elevens in 30 minutes? Why do they walk around with their pants around their ankles? I don't know.
Seeing what I'm saying?
I don't know. I'm not black. So it's not my experience. It's unexplainable, but this is what they do. Okay, this is how they are.
It's not. You know, there's a disparity between whites and blacks in the United States. One group of people, one demographic, has better economic outcomes and educational outcomes and things like that. Now, there can be two reasons for that. One of two reasons. Reason number one, it's a social problem. And if it's a social problem, then we can fix it. We can, do forced busing. We can give scholarships to all of the students. We can improve their neighborhoods and all kinds of other things. So work harder for integration and put out like anti-racism ads to decrease implicit bias and things like that. It's fixable, right? The other reason for this disparity, the possible reason, is genetics. They're just genetically inferior. Which do you think Nick Fuentes subscribes to? And by the way, by extension, Lance Wallnau, Todd Coconato, and Mario Murillo. I mean, they repeat his talking points anyway. They repeat Nazi talking points all the time. There's not like a big leap at all. Nick Fuentes is a race realist, which means he believes that race is an inherent, intrinsic quality about somebody that makes them superior or inferior, just based on genetics.
They are. It is what it is. That black vote is locked in, man. It is totally inelastic. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter what they believe or who they like. I mean, it just doesn't matter. So why would we create these opportunity zones and a platinum plan and just send the military in? Do what must be done. Send the military into these black neighborhoods, make the streets safe. They'll complain about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're never going to vote for us.
Point is, he is a white nationalist to a degree that I can't even comprehend. It's insane. He's also a full-blown Nazi. Kanye West, famously, back in, I think, 2022, early December 2022, went on a media tour talking to everybody he could about hating Jews and loving Hitler. I'm not even joking right now. If you don't remember this, he went on Alex Jones to talk about it. And Alex Jones is trying to justify it. And he's like, well, you don't love Hitler, right?
Like you like the uniforms, but that's about it.
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
And look who's on the set next to him, Nick Fuentes. Kanye West, when he went on this media tour, apparently watched Nick Fuentes and invited him to come along. And he's been flying in his private jet and everything. He's been helping him with his presidential campaign. By the way, what happened to President Kanye 2024? What happened to that? He had merch and everything, didn't he? Oh, this is important. I got to pull this one up. It's in my YouTube. Yeah, I knew I remembered seeing Kanye merch. Here you go. Right here. Yay 24. Look familiar? Here's another one from Nick Fuentes and Kanye West.
Well, I don't think that the Jews are particularly ethno-masochistic. If you look at all the blowback to Ye, they're very defensive. They're very paranoid, you could say.
So Kanye West comes out and says he loves what Hitler did. He loves Hitler. He thinks he's awesome and we need to do more of that. And there's blowback against Kanye. I'm not calling him Ye. I think he's trying to escape accountability by changing his name and covering his face. There's blowback against him. And they think that's like the Jews. Instead of just people sitting on the other end just absolutely disgusted by what's happening.
Almost pathologically paranoid about threats to their well-being. I agree with you that liberalism is a poison. I'm not a liberal. And I think that
No fucking really? You're not?
And I think that liberalism has poisoned the well for white people. But if you look at white kids, there's nothing, I don't think, intrinsic in white people that makes them hate themselves. Like when I was a kid, kids loved Hitler. In the sense that we see the videos and we see the propaganda and the...
I'm sorry? Kids love Hitler? First I'm hearing of it. And I was a kid, I remember, for at least 15 years.
propaganda and the symbols, and there's something compelling about it just on an aesthetic level.
What?
No.
I've never heard that before. When you were a little kid, like 8 years old, all your friends liked Hitler?
Well, maybe not 8 years old, but on 4chan and on the internet.
Okay. Yeah.
Very
Teenage.
popular.
Okay, wow. Yeah, dude on the right, Gavin McInnes, started the Proud Boys, also started Vice News, believe it or not. Full-blown white nationalist, trying to create a white ethno-state. And he's the voice of reason in this conversation with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West. That's who we're dealing with right now, okay? Now, I've drawn the connection for you between Fuentes and Lance Wallnau and Donald Trump and Mario Murillo, Todd Coconato, but I have more. There's more. Listen to this one from Fuentes.
I know all the people on the Trump team that are with us. I know all the people that are ideologically sympathetic. I know all the people that are on side. They feel exactly the same way as I do. They feel exactly the same way. Many of them are borderline considering quitting politics because of their experience with Trump. And they see that it.
Oh yeah, he was fighting against Trump for a while there. He's saying that he was going to tell all of his people to vote against Donald Trump because he wasn't doing what he wanted him to do. Basically, he's not speaking out about the border in the right ways or whatever. And just like that, seemingly out of nowhere, suddenly Fuentes' close friend Laura Loomer is right up on top of Trump and supposedly has video of them doing, things that I talked about earlier. That's interesting, huh? Almost like Trump realizes that this election is going to be close within just a couple percentage points, and any small group could flip it. So he's trying to appease every small group that he can. That's what it seems like.
It's the same game that we played in the first term, which is battling the Jews in the White House, battling the neocons, battling the Israel firsters. I think the Groypers are going to withhold the votes. It's going to be a close election. If he can go to the Libertarian Convention, then he can give something to the Groypers. If he wants to go for the Libertarians to get 1% of the vote and they had a convention with 1,000 people, well, then he can earn our vote as well. And I don't like what I see.
Yeah, and he did go on to try to earn Fuentes' vote, as far as I can tell. So as soon as Laura Loomer started rolling around, suddenly Fuentes is Trump's biggest fan again. He's like, wow, I love this guy. He's doing the right thing. Interesting, right? Now, I drew a connection between Fuentes and Trump with Laura Loomer as the connector. And I drew a connection with Mario Murillo, Lance Wallnau, and Todd Coconato to Nick Fuentes, right? Check this one out. Mario Murillo on the left. This is Flashpoint, by the way. Hank Kunneman on the right. Prophet of God, prophesied Trump would win in 2020 and was wrong. Gene Bailey on the back left. And behind him, you can't see, but this is Lance Wallnau, I believe. They're holding a revival event, like a faith healing event. Yeah, that's the word, faith healing event.
I'm only allowed to say one thing to this lady in the pink. Take one of your hands, put on your stomach.
Yeah, there you go. You could kind of see Lance Wallnau leaning over there a little. Yeah, that's him. I think, actually. Now I'm not sure. They usually have Wallnau on. Anyway.
There are actually 3 places in your body that this thing is grown in.
This is just some random woman in the crowd, by the way.
And it is cancer. Now, I need you to take your hand off your stomach, put it right below your neck. Right there. And the third one is small. It's just growing a little bit right now. But God's going to take them all out by the root. Everybody?
Now, I don't think that she had any connection to them. I believe that he's just pulling this right out of his, as far as I can tell. She doesn't have cancer, never did. I have no reason to believe, she's even been to a doctor for any of this. They certainly don't know each other. So now he can say, God's going to heal you. And when you go to a doctor to verify that healing, the doctor will tell you, it's like you never even had cancer. Wow, huh?
There's 3. You need faith right now, young lady. I want you to look at me because you need to be convinced that what I'm saying, I can't possibly know. So take that hand was on your stomach, and it's now here. The third one is on the side, on this side. And it's, yes, exactly right.
Yeah, it is Lance Wallnau in the background. You can see him there.
And you are being healed. Now, everybody,
Yes.
say, oh, Mario, this crazy talk, crazy talk.
Yeah, a little.
You have no idea how many times I've watched women like this go to their doctor and the x-rays show there's nothing there.
Knock me over with a feather. Really? That surprises me, I gotta say. You telling me that you claim someone had a disease that there's no evidence they ever had, and when they go to verify it, it turns out they never had it? Huh?
Now, come, Jesus.
I mean, this is what they do. They're both, all of them on stage. This is straight up scumbag behavior right here. Taking advantage of people, fleecing people, taking every penny that they have, scamming them. You know, if this was not a religious event, if this was just like a conference, what they're doing here would be illegal. If they were selling this cure in bottle form or whatever, like colloidal silver is a cure to your cancer or whatever, it'd be against the law what they're doing because they're defrauding people. They're lying to them, taking advantage of them, and getting every penny they can out of them. It would be against the law, rightfully so. But it's religion, so it's not against the law in this context. Just disgusting. In my personal opinion, fraud is fraud. I don't care what your religious belief is. If you tell somebody that they can be cured by blah, 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 whatever, and there is no evidence that that thing can cure you, and you're doing this on a mass scale like this, you're defrauding people, and you're taking money for it or whatever, that's fraud. The point here is that Nick Fuentes, Mario Murillo, Hank Kunneman, Gene Bailey, Lance Wallnau, Todd Coconato. Oh, yeah, and by the way, with all of these other people, that includes Kenneth Copeland, because Hank Kunneman is close friends with Kenneth Copeland and believes him to be like the most important pastor on earth right now or whatever. It includes Andrew Womack, because Womack is on the same network as all of these people. I mean, hell, who else does it include? It includes so many people, it's ridiculous. Oh, yeah, I haven't even touched Mike Lindell yet. I don't know if you guys heard about this one. Mike Lindell, just the other day, from when this video released, posted this on the official MyPillow, what is this, Truth? I think this is the Truth Social thing. Sleep like a dream with our standard MyPillow for just $14.88. Use promo code R277 to snag this deal and wake up feeling refreshed every morning. Don't miss out on the ultimate comfort upgrade. Get yours today. MyPillow.com/R277. Now, if you are not chronically online or like a politics junkie the way that I am, you may not be aware of this, but R277, his promo code, is a reference to a Utah bill about racism in schools. Here it is. The point of R277-328 is to actually address inequity and racism in schools, said Amara Bray, a member of the public who attended the meeting last week. We are continuing to see inequity in Utah schools. Even though students of color are a relatively small percentage of students, I ask you to please keep equity as a priority in schools. So this bill is about racial issues. Is this a ballot measure? Is that what it is? Is that the promo code because he wants people to vote on this ballot initiative or whatever? I mean, I'm not even sure. I could be wrong there, but it's a race-based promo code is the point. Race in schools. And 1488, to point out the obvious, is a Nazi dog whistle. This is how dog whistles work. If you're not like deep into this world, you may not even be aware that 1488 means anything at all, like 1350. That's also a racist dog whistle. He's saying something that Nazis will hear, but everybody else will ignore. If you don't know about this, you don't care. You don't have anything to do with it. 14 in this number is a reference to the 14 words by Hitler. It's a famous phrase that he said. His two slogans originated by David Eden Lane, one of the 9 founding members of the defunct white supremacist terrorist organization, The Order. Anyway, the 14 words. We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. followed by the second slogan, because the beauty of the white Aryan woman must not perish from the earth. The 14 words. And the 88 in this equation is a reference to HH, because, you know, H is the 8th letter in the alphabet. Heil Hitler, HH, 88. Yeah. Mike Lindell is a neo-Nazi. At the very least, he's like shouting out to neo-Nazis and telling them that, like, he sees them and he wants their money and he wants them to, like, buy his pillows and stuff. What is happening right now? That is insane. Like, if I haven't drawn enough connections between Donald Trump and Christian nationalists and white supremacy and neo-Nazis, I don't know what else I can show. You know the other weird thing about this? I just want to point this out real quick. Here's another weird thing. Mike Lindell is pro-Israel. Obviously a neo-Nazi. Pro-Israel. How is that happening? How did that work? I can't believe I don't have a single clip on this subject. Anyway, Mike Lindell is super pro-Israel. Has been for like ever. How does that work? The answer is there are multiple kinds of people or people from multiple different backgrounds that support Israel for these reasons and others that support it for those reasons and people that are opposed to it for these and that. Anyway, there's a subset of the left that supports Palestine's right to exist and is horrified by what Israel is doing to them right now. Who has two thumbs and supports Palestine's right to exist and the Palestinians? This guy right here. And then there's a subset of the right that supports Palestine because they fucking hate Jews. I mean, it's weird how much they talk about how evil Israel is and stuff. Like, I think Israel is like a nationalist state that's completely out of control and doing horrific stuff, but not on a religious level. Like, I don't believe this as part of my religion. That's what it seems to be with some of the anti-Israel people on the right. It's really disturbing. And then there are people on the right, like Mike Lindell, for example, who support Israel for religious reasons because they need Israel to exist and be there in control of the Temple Mount area before Jesus can come back. Al-Aqsa Mosque is built on where Solomon's temple used to be. It's been there for like centuries, millennia, I think. And part of the evangelical Christian ideology is Israel is supposed to tear down Al-Aqsa Mosque, which would cause World War III. I'm not even being hyperbolic. And slaughter a red heifer, basically a red young cow in front of the Temple Mount and then build the third temple, and then Jesus comes back. That's the reason why people like Lindell support Israel and continue to do this 1488 stuff. It is an absolutely bizarre thing to see. Full-blown Nazis supporting Israel like that. And I mean, like, Lindell has even debated Palestinians. He debated these Palestinians outside of the RNC or the DNC? I don't remember where. Somewhere.
The 2024 election this November will be safe and secure.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, look, this guy is holding a Frank Speech, his like news network or whatever, a Frank Speech microphone. This is Lindell's guy.
Yep, 40,000 dead Palestinians. No one cares what the My Pillow guy has to say.
Yeah, I love it.
Do you need a pillow? Do you need a pillow? Do you need a good night's sleep?
Dead Palestinians, how do you sleep with yourself at night?
No, you need a good night's sleep. You need a good night's sleep. What do you sleep on? You sleep on a My Pillow.
Are you serious right now? He walks up to Palestinian protesters and tries to sell them pillows? Is this real?
To get your shit together and realize what side of history you're fucking on.
Do you know who said what's said in mine? I'm trying to secure our election.
Secure our election? Genocide?
You have quite a mouth on you. You need some sleep, I think.
You have quite a mouth on you, motherfucker.
I think you're about to go to sleep right now, bro. If you keep going, I'm just.
All right, that's fine. All right. You guys.
Part of nothing.
Keep going.
He's a nice guy. You won't even give a chance. You're just yelling.
Anyway, yeah, Lindell debating Palestinian protesters. Wow, that's really interesting, actually. Maybe we should watch the rest of this.
Part of nothing.
Keep going.
He's a nice guy. You won't even give a chance. You're just yelling at him.
What are you even doing here?
You support Palestine?
Yeah, what?
You support Palestine?
No.
Okay, get the f out of my face, bro. Move on.
Obviously, he doesn't. This is what I'm saying. Neo-Nazi that loves Israel. That is just wild.
Move along. Move along. That's right.
I support Israel.
40,000 people are shit out of my face. I can hear it right now. What do you do? What do you act? If they want to go, you have nothing in society. They can't hear you. Wrong. Move on. How about now? How about now?
Dude, I really wish there'd be like one person at a time. This is really annoying.
I stand for Israel and Jesus Christ. That's what I stand.
Jesus is from Palestine, you fucking idiot! Palestinians.
That's a response to do you
You stand for nothing. Come on. Jesus was alive. You got bombed. You're fucking stupid.
I will be.
So I think the kid is saying if Jesus were here today, he would be in like with the Palestinian, like physically, like he was an Arab, basically. That's right, isn't it? I don't know. It's been a while since I looked into this. He's like a Middle Eastern person who was from the the Palestine region. He would obviously be around the Palestinians.
Praying for you. I will be praying for you. God bless you.
Hey, don't use my shit.
In the name of Jesus.
I will pray for you guys. You guys, I seriously will pray for you. I will pray for you.
Wow, that's nice of it. That's his way of saying "F you," basically, right?
You guys, I will.
40,000 dead Palestinians. You need to pray for yourself. You need help. There are 40,000 people.
So what do you want me to do? Shouldn't I pray for you? Shouldn't I pray for you?
You're speaking about Israel. What about all the dead Palestinians? What about all the victims? What about all the people under the
Shouldn't I pray
rubble?
for them and pray for you?
No, you're not. Unless you care for the Palestinians.
What would you like me to do other than pray for you? What would you like me to do other than pray
Distract
for you?
people and talk.
Oh my God, what would you like me to do other than pray for you? Well, he's gone on this massive media tour around the country, screaming like a banshee into a microphone, any microphone he can find, that the election is rigged. So, and it's not. So can't he grab one of those microphones and talk about how Israel is mistreating Palestinians? Mike Quackhole Lindell, yeah, exactly. He is suddenly pretending that he's politically neutered, like he has no way of doing absolutely anything at all. How many lawsuits has this guy filed? How many, I mean, in favor of election integrity, quote unquote. How many live streams has he done? How many videos he released? How many news articles has he written or had written in his name or paid to be written or whatever about this election denial stuff? And he's like, what do you want me to do about the Israel-Palestine thing? Really? Well, first, I would like you to admit that it's a problem. He doesn't even do that.
About immigrants who had nothing to society. And meanwhile, you're talking about people that need to be you need
United States
like you had nothing to America. Those are people who are the backbone of this country.
From here? What does that mean? Are you from here? You mean the United States?
And meanwhile, am I from here? Are you from here? Where are you from? Who funds you? Who gives you your money? I want to know what super PAC is behind you. You seem like you get paid a lot to be here, so I want to know who's funding you. I come here on my own dime, but who pays you?
Oh my God, dude. So Mike Lindell's implying that these protesters are like being paid to be here. Are you serious with this? This guy is so full of man. So full of Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. I'm telling you, man, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, Christian nationalists embedded into the system from the ground up. Really.